most unlikable candidate in the history of presidents, and that's saying a lot.
But Biden says the same thing.
He's number 2. When Biden says something, does anyone go like, oh?
Right.
No, they used to go, oh, what'd he say?
Yeah. What is happening in America? You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial. And when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felonies.
Hillary Clinton paces like a storm on the edge of breaking. You can almost see the heat radiating from her shoulders, a mix of frustration and disbelief. Meanwhile, Tyrus isn't backing down. He's dropping shock after shock, one revelation more explosive than the last. These secrets aren't just dirty, they're downright grimy, the kind that make a mud-splattered marathon look clean. Tension builds until it snaps. Hillary's words ignite like a spark in a dry forest, capable of setting an entire city buzzing with outrage. You can't help but wonder, what could possibly be so jaw-dropping that it pushed her this far? Buckle up.
And this goes back to 2016. People were reluctant to talk to pollsters and say, I like Donald Trump. And now, fast forward 8 years later, essentially they're saying, if you like him, you're in a cult. Do you really want to be in a cult?
If the cult that Hillary doesn't like, you get a red hat, I'll get one. Like, it's ridiculous that when the losing side or someone, she's just a very unlikable person and will say anything to get this attention. But here's the thing, it's changed. America has changed. We no longer listen to that stuff. Now when they say it, we go, that's why I didn't vote.
Because at this point, politics has stopped resembling reality and started feeling like a wild soap opera spinning completely out of control. Before we go any further, make sure to tap that like button and hit subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Hillary Clinton had been making her rounds on talk shows, sharing her well-rehearsed insights and basking in the applause, almost as if she were taking a graceful final bow on a Broadway stage. But just when everything seemed perfectly choreographed, Tyrus stormed in like a wrecking ball in a glass room. What he revealed next sent shockwaves through the room. Details so stunning they sounded like they'd been locked away in a top-secret government vault. The woman who'd weathered decades of Washington storms finally snapped.
Is one of the most disgusting human beings on the planet.
Very much so.
Always has been, always will be, and will be inserting clips on her response to Benghazi several times throughout the interview. I want to show who she is.
She's worse than her husband.
A lot of people say that this was triggered by a YouTube video. This is her statement. I condemn in the strongest terms the attack on our mission in Benghazi today. The United States deplores any intentional effort to denigrate the religious beliefs of others. Our commitment to religious tolerance goes back to the very beginning.
Her composure cracked so suddenly, it was as if her teleprompter froze mid-sentence. And let's be honest, Hillary Clinton doesn't lose her temper over just anyone. This wasn't some Senate scuffle or a friendly media debate gone sideways. No, this time the spark came from Tyrus, a man who looks like he was engineered in a WWE lab and reprogrammed to detonate truth bombs wherever he goes. He doesn't argue. He dominates the space. When he steps in, the tension doesn't just rise, like it shakes the entire room. Picture this. Everything's moving along just as expected.
You kind of get why Bill did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, it's kind of like, again, I don't condone, cheating, but that's your morning.
Yeah.
You gotta kiss that before you go to bed at night, and then you gotta sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
With all its usual confusion and backroom whispers, trudges forward on autopilot. Then out of nowhere, Tyrus decides today's the day to pull the curtain back and expose the shadows everyone pretends not to see. These aren't the kind of stories politicians grin through while spinning neat little speeches. No, these are the messy stains that cling to reputations, the kind that no amount of polish or cleanup can disguise, lingering like the stubborn smell of gym socks left out after a summer barbecue. And when those revelations hit the spotlight, Hillary's reaction is anything but calm. The moment turns into pure spectacle. Forget icy stares or polite pushback. This was fury in full color, the kind that lights up the sky like a fireworks finale. It's the kind of outburst that makes you wonder if someone accidentally swapped her morning cappuccino.
Your buddy Epstein didn't off himself, and she has all this extra footage cut up in the closet. Like, I bet he has. I bet Bill has not had a good night's sleep for years. I mean, that's why he aged so badly. You know, like, a lot of people don't know this. Bill Clinton is only 37 years old.
For rocket fuel. As for Tyrus, this is nothing new. Stirring chaos is practically his signature move. He doesn't just point out the problems, he blasts them wide open, leaving everyone stunned by how effortlessly he does it. Tyrus handles controversy the way a showman handles the ring, with drama, swagger, and just the right touch of flair to keep every viewer glued to the screen. His pursuit of Hillary isn't just about revealing some forgotten piece of history. It's about crafting a spectacle so massive that the evening news feels like a school play in comparison. Can Hillary withstand it? That's the real question. She spent years perfecting her image, shaping the narrative, fine-tuning her speeches, and mastering every interview to project control and poise. But Tyrus doesn't play by the same rules. He's not strategizing. He's stirring the storm and watching it unfold.
Just evil. Like, there's nothing like her.
Why would she even tweet that? Like, don't you have
I think she just sits around in her evil lair. Whenever she runs out of Eye of Newt and Small Children to Boil, she then goes to X and just says whatever the most evilest thing. I think if the devil himself showed up, like, you'll never hear her being possessed by a demon. You know what I'm saying? The demon will walk in and the demon will be calling Dr. Phil. You don't believe the that I just saw, bro. Like.
As the uncomfortable truths start to break through, Hillary seems to flip from composed to combustible in an instant. You can almost see her pacing, shouting, and gesturing wildly as if she's directing and starring in her own dramatic political saga. But what exactly had Tyrus uncovered? To put it bluntly, it wasn't pleasant. This wasn't the kind of rumor you laugh about over breakfast. These were the messy, uncomfortable whispers people usually try to bury, the kind that revive old feuds, sweep them into the spotlight, and refuse to fade away quietly. The ghosts of Hillary's past controversies, once thought long gone,
catfish. Well, they wanted us to believe it was a big naughty redhead that was going around, was going to ruin the world and do all kinds of bad things to us. Turns out the catfish was, hey, we don't boo here, but for this one time, you may boo.
Come storming back like a chaotic parade spinning out of control. And let's be honest, she's been tied to enough scandals to fill an entire streaming series. The problem? You can't stick to a playbook when your opponent tosses the script out the window. In truth, the story isn't just about what Tyrus exposed, it's about how Hillary reacted. Her fury became the headline. The spectacle of her trying to slam the door on those resurfacing skeletons drowned out the secrets themselves, leaving the noise of her outrage echoing louder than the truth she was desperate to contain. A public meltdown is the clearest sign that someone's been rattled, and predictably, the internet devoured it like the season finale of a wild reality show. Within hours, memes flooded timelines. Some insisted Tyrus was just stirring the pot for attention, while others claimed Hillary's reaction was proof she had something to hide. But as the shouting grew louder, the noise itself became the story. Because in 2025, politics isn't just about policy anymore. It's pure entertainment, complete with rivalries and cliffhangers. Through it all,
pantsuit fits. Hillary Clinton, you owe Russia an apology. And there should be an apology tour for lying to the American people and ruining 2 years of Trump's presidency and affecting elections with Russiagate, impeachment, and fake dossiers. Oh yeah, let's not forget the P-tape.
Hillary kept projecting the same image she's clung to for years, untouchable, unbothered, and somehow above consequence. Yet, behind the calm exterior the cracks showed, Tyrus, part commentator, part chaos conductor, had turned her carefully built composure into a pressure cooker, and the resulting blast exposed just how psychological the battle for power had become. Because in politics, the facts alone don't decide the story, that perception does. And perception is reality. When Hillary loses her composure, it gives the impression that maybe, just maybe, Tyrus hit a nerve. The moment people believe she's shaken, half the battle is already lost. Tyrus knows this game inside out. He doesn't need spreadsheets or airtight evidence, just a perfectly timed revelation, a knowing smirk, and the confidence that Hillary's reaction will do the rest. It's one of the oldest tricks.
Remember what Donald Trump said about Hillary Clinton back in the 2016 debate.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
It's like, yeah, because you'd be going to jail.
In the book, poke the bear, then sit back as it makes the headlines for you. And judging by the media frenzy that followed, his strategy worked better than he could have dreamed. You'd think that after all these years, Hillary would have mastered the art of staying composed under fire. But even the most seasoned players slip up. This time, her frustration became the story, marking what some called the biggest online meltdown of the year. Meanwhile, Tyrus had already moved on, stirring up his next whirlwind of chaos before the dust from this one had even settled. There was more to Hillary's outburst than a simple slip of emotion.
They're the truth, they control the storyline, and they've lost control of it. From bloodbath to democracy. Last night, Hillary tried framing the election like this. Both guys are old, but you can't vote for the one we indicted.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices. One is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart, and really cares about people. And one is old and has been charged with 90.
What? It was a full-blown performance. You almost had to wonder if she'd rehearsed the scene in front of a mirror beforehand. This wasn't just an argument, it was an eruption. Her voice climbed, her gestures flared, and years of bottled-up frustration came spilling out as if Tyrus himself had hit the launch button. It felt like watching a Shakespearean drama morph into a wrestling spectacle, complete with invisible theme music only she could hear. Subtlety has never been her style. She flashes that trademark smile, leans toward the mic, and delivers her lines with the confidence of someone used to commanding a courtroom. But when Tyrus starts dropping his verbal grenades, that composure...
Back like a sore on a porn star's lip.
Ew.
Complaining on X about Trump cleaning up D.C., she says, quote, on one hand, Republican officials call themselves war fighters. On the other, they become whiny crybabies at the thought of setting foot in D.C. streets and New York City subways that literal school children navigate every day without incident. Real macho stuff. Then she got off social media and returned to moving a dead body to a park.
melts faster than ice cream on a July afternoon. It wasn't just his words that rattled her. It was the crack in her long-standing image of being untouchable. And as expected, the internet erupted right alongside her. Memes spread faster than her outrage, turning the entire spectacle into the digital event everyone couldn't stop talking about. Within hours, social media turned Hillary's meltdown into a digital circus. On every platform, she appeared as a glitching robot, a raging volcano, or a full-blown mushroom cloud. Someone even gave her the nickname Mount Hillary online, and it stuck.
It's not just ironic, it's not just rich, it's actually pretty sad.
It's what happened to decorum?
Gone,
what happened to being the so-called leader in the room? He's being indicted, great, but let's not forget, you lost your election because of your quote crookedness. So let's not forget that. So yeah, she didn't get charges put on her, which probably should have, but she lost the election because of her underhand dealings. So let's remember.
Tyrus, grinning like a cat that had just caught an eagle, popped up in countless TikTok remixes of her outburst, each clip more exaggerated than the last. Even people who normally avoided politics couldn't look away. Watching one of the most powerful figures of modern times unravel live on TV was pure spectacle, the kind of content people couldn't stop replaying. Hashtags exploded worldwide. News anchors fought to hide their smirks, and every serious attempt to manage the fallout only made things worse. It was like trying to douse a grease fire with gasoline. The aftermath was inevitable. Late-night comedians had a field day, pundits spun wild theories, and internet sleuths started connecting dots that stretched from shadowy conspiracies to Wall Street. The chaos took on a life of its own, unstoppable, uncontrollable, and utterly viral. Hillary's supporters rushed to her defense, calling her eruption an act of righteous anger, the kind you unleash when you finally had enough of cheap shots. But let's be honest, anger that loud doesn't project strength. It looks more like insecurity dressed up for Halloween. The irony couldn't be sharper. For decades, Hillary's reputation has rested on her ability to stay composed through chaos.
Happy about it. That was an opportunity for her. They're always talking about closing the division. That would have been an opportunity for her to be gracious and be supposedly the leader. But again, she just can't stay away from herself.
Maturity doesn't always come with age.
No, it really doesn't. And it's sad in this, currently with the given climate where everybody's after each other's throat, here's a chance for a leader to show a little bit of class necessary. You don't have to like President Trump. You could think he was guilty of sin or innocent of sin, but when you're put in that position, there was an opportunity for her to show what leaders are supposed
to shrug off scandals and to remain the unshakable force her allies admire. Yet here she was, undone by a TV commentator with a flair for theatrics. The contrast was almost absurd, and even her most loyal followers couldn't pretend it was her finest hour. Tyrus didn't need to lift another finger. The internet supplied the popcorn, the media did the heavy lifting, and the spectacle took care of itself. Hillary knew the rules of this game better than anyone, but the moment she lost her cool, the optics turned deadly. Because in politics, truth takes a backseat to image. And for someone who built a career on being unflappable, this slip wasn't just unfortunate, it was catastrophic. Step back for a moment and take in the bigger picture. This wasn't just another spat between a pundit and a politician. It was the ultimate fusion of politics and performance. In this new era where drama is the currency and business is booming. Hillary's meltdown felt less like a debate and more like witnessing a live version of the market crash. Only this time, the economy was her composure. Forget policy discussions or thoughtful debate. Everyone was glued to their screens watching the spectacle unfold, and Hillary delivered passionately, dramatically, almost poetically. For decades, she had been the image of control, the embodiment of resilience. Yet here she was, stripped of that polished calm, wearing raw emotion for the entire world to see. Even foreign leaders watching from afar reportedly laughed and muttered, "Only in America." Meanwhile, the public couldn't get enough. Memes spread like wildfire. People argued over which one captured the moment best, and the actual cause of her fury was quickly forgotten. The irony? She wasn't campaigning or defending a cause. She was simply being herself. And somehow, that alone was enough to dominate the headlines and turn a single outburst into a worldwide event. Then, just like that, Tyrus turned her into the story everyone was talking about. Overnight, Hillary's face was everywhere. On news tickers, social feeds, late-night jokes. Impossible to escape. Retirement, it seemed, wasn't in the cards for her. Not after the blast her reaction set off. It was the cruelest twist imaginable. After a lifetime spent shaping her legacy as a powerhouse and pioneer, she ended up trending for losing her temper. All it took was one showman with a flair for drama and a knack for exposing hidden truths. The result was a surreal collision of internet outrage and Shakespearean irony, a modern tragedy wrapped in memes. The deeper you think about it, the funnier and sadder it gets. Her meltdown wasn't just about personal frustration, it perfectly captured the absurd theater of modern politics. No academic paper could have illustrated the chaos of American power more vividly than this spectacle did. The question now isn't whether she can bounce back, it's whether she even wants to. Once a moment like that escapes into the digital wild, there's no stuffing it back into the bottle. You can either drown in the frenzy or learn to ride its waves, and if history has shown anything, it's that Hillary Clinton never fades quietly into the background.